A little bit better.
But that guy, you lost the improvement.
Hence Minecraft gaming. I have that installed already. Oh.
Hey, yeah. Hey, oh, fantastic. Wow. Okay. Wow. There's a lot of people here. That's fantastic. Yeah, happy to see you all, but everybody should switch on your cameras. Okay. Everybody should, yeah. All right. So, hey, Caitlin, welcome back. Great. Okay. You know what? I may actually know some of you here, from a previous class. In fact, even from a couple of quarters ago, I think I remembered some of the names that were rolling past the roster, but I didn't quite place which quarter I might have seen those names. Great. Okay. Yeah. All of you should switch on your cameras. Okay. So I am.
We can also get a sound player. Oh, wait, guys, can we get a shock stick once we have enough money?
Hey, Indra, we can all hear you.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Obviously, if you're in the middle of something, you can feel free to switch off your camera and also mute your microphones if you like. But when you're in class, I expect that everybody will have their cameras on and be participating. Obviously, this is not a class, and these meetings are not going to be mandatory, okay? So I'm going to set up these meetings and I'm not going to attend these meetings. So we'll go over the details, shortly. Mainly these meetings are to help you guys help each other. That is the whole point of these meetings. And so I will basically set up, what we'll try and do is you can click on the exact same link, that for today. And I think the same link actually works all the way through. And I'm pretty sure that would work. If not, we'll just set up new links. Either way, this time I think we'll work all of you. Yeah, we'll work with all of you. Yes, 6 o'clock on a Monday. This is Monday today. Yeah. Okay. 6 o'clock on a Monday. I hope it works for all of you. So if not, you can, try and schedule some things around so that you can make it to this meeting. And here in this meeting, here is my idea. Okay. By the way, I'm not going to go through this kickoff meeting. I'm going to introduce myself and then each of you introduce yourself. What we'll do though is after I leave this meeting, 6:03. So I'll aim to leave this meeting at 6:15, maybe after answering all of your questions. Okay. So 6:15, I'll leave the meeting. And then after that, you guys are going to be here with your cameras on, and you're all going to take turns asking, talking about, each one gets a turn. You can either to ask a question about the technical content or the class, and someone else will answer. Or if nobody answers, one of you can say, well, I'll, make a post in the Reddit, right? One of you. But then you only get one question, right? And then the next person and next person, you can also say, hey, can I go next? And so on and so forth. The idea is that we don't have breakout rooms saying, hey, there's a group going to be talking about this. There's a group going to be talking about that. And everybody's doing that in a breakout room. No. So I think everything should just happen just in the open. Okay. This class is very different from probably any other class you've done, in the sense that I'm not going to be doing any teaching at all. Okay. Well, strictly speaking, that's not true. So I am going to be overseeing a lot of this stuff, and I'm going to be looking at, what you're doing and what you're writing and all. But obviously, this is an online class. Okay. And we're going to take up a small notch compared to other online classes where you actually have to digest material and answer, quizzes and finals. We'll just take it up one notch and say, well, you know what, not only is it online and you have to do all that stuff, you also have to do these not experiments, homework problems. Okay, homework assignments, quests. Okay, you got to do 9 of those for this quarter. If you're in CS2B, you're going to be doing quests 10 to 18. Okay, and if you're in CS2A, you're going to be doing 0 to 9. 0 to 9 are actually fun, interesting, and paced just well enough for you to determine if C++ and programming and computer science is for you or not. Okay, so you have a very good taste, and that will help you make up your mind as to whether you want to major in computer science and get into the details, or just have a superficial smattering of knowledge with applications and so on. And even if you're planning to do cutting edge research in computer science and AI or some applied computer science field, theoretical and fundamental computer science, the algorithms that you get to learn here are going to be totally useful, right? Yeah, I mean, it's just that in advanced classes, advanced research techniques, you're going to be taking all of this for granted. Okay, so all right, okay, at this point we apply the forward algorithms to get to calculate the probabilities. Okay, because but that is a kind of dynamic programming algorithm you would have learned somewhere in your classes, and maybe you can't brush it off. Okay, because later on you'll say, well, I'm just going to use it. So that's how research usually happens. So the idea is to get solid with all of these things. I know, and I want to all of you to believe me, by virtue of the fact you've enrolled in my course now. So you got to trust me and believe me that if you do put in the work, okay, if you do put in the work, no matter what your predisposition is, but if you do actually wholeheartedly put in the work, meaning, even though it doesn't seem like I'm going to cut it, okay, even though it doesn't seem like I'm a computer scientist, even though it's a mathematical thing, I'm not really a mathematical kind of person, but just right, whatever it feels like. If you say, well, it doesn't matter, I'm just going to do it because my professor said so. Okay, so if you say I'm going to do all of the things as prescribed in the syllabus, meaning I'm going to toil on the quests without asking other people in my family, right, my friends, or even asking ChatGPT saying, how do I fix this bug? All easy, isn't it? So I have absolutely no way of telling how you get, past your problems, right? But you have every way of saying and influencing how you get past your problems, and that is going to determine whether you succeed or not in the end. Okay, so these are little problems, and you can just take them as practice steps and say, well, you know what, these are little problems. I'm not going to get the better of me and say, well, you know what, I'll just look up a solution and take the easy way. No, if we do that with little problems, how the hell are we going to get, face real problems in life? Right? So we should just say these little problems, I'm just not going to ask for anybody's help unless I'm just close to dying. Right? And you can believe me that, it may seem like, my God, it's 1 week and I've still not cracked it. And other people have gone like 2 quests ahead. And all of a sudden you just have this flash that happens. And then, and the progress after that is very, very rapid, like a breakout all of a sudden. Yeah. So you'll see that happen. And the problem with looking up solutions is that you'll never actually see that happen. So you'll never be witness to this incredible phenomenon in your own life. That, wow, I just saw the spurt. This is a fantastic, explosion of something that happened inside of me. So I can just now think at the next level. Okay. But you can see that, and you will feel that only if you keep not giving up. Okay. So if you just keep giving up, because I know I've been through this, even with math problems, doing a proof, and I get, a simple proof, maybe, well, not simple, maybe you can get stuck at maybe 10 or 15 different points. Okay. In a proof, maybe this big. As a student like you guys, okay? And I get stuck and say, well, you know what? I'm going to look up how to get past this, right? And I get past that. I get stuck at another point, and the temptation is very high. And so I'm just going to look up the solution, or ask my brother or sister or father or mother to come and say, well, you know what? Do you know what I'm doing wrong here? It's so high. The temptation is so high. And also, I think the culture is so bad in many cases that even if you don't ask for help, people around you who in the know will basically come and peer over your shoulder and say, hey, you know what? I know what's wrong. I can tell you what's going on there. Okay. So it's not only tempting for you to ask for help, it's also tempting for other people to offer help, even when, it's against your best interests. So I think it is best to toil on your own, use these meetings, get to these meetings and ask for concept related help. Maybe, some perplexing thing in the questing thing in adventure that you are stuck at, you can bring it to this meeting and ask. Wow, there's another screen of students. Oh wow, okay. There's actually 2 screens. Okay, but I can only see a half of you at one point, I think. Anyway, if you can also ask, interrupt me at any time and ask. And so what I will do, basically just go through all of the quests. And if you have a question, even if it's related to remember, all of you are here. It's going to be both 2A and 2B students. And this is a grand experiment on my part. I'm just going to do these catch-up circles, catch-up meetings, combining both sections together. Okay, you're both in Canvas. You should all be able to come here. Now, the idea is that, let's say someone is working on a 2A quest. I don't know, maybe Crow or something, and they don't have Martin, and they have this binary search or whatever it is, or even take string manipulation in quest number 5. I'm not getting the string manipulation. There's some differences there. Okay, and you're asking, and someone else is helping, or maybe someone who's in 2B who's already done that quest is helping. Okay, that's okay. Everybody should just wait and watch. Okay, even if you already know what the hell is going on, just stick around and watch. Okay, if you don't know what's going on, you just watch and say, hey, that's what's going on. Okay, so either way, you're a winner. Everybody's a winner. And then after they're done, and say, and this person says, okay, and sign off. Or if they're taking too much time, you can say, hey guys, I got to go too. I got to go in a few minutes. Can I get a word in? Okay, you can all butt in. It's all friends here. And say, I want to ask my question, and then I have to go. All of that is perfectly fine. So everybody should get a turn, and you'll also get 2A, 2B people helping 2A people. Okay, and it'll be a great deal of fun. And although these meetings themselves are not directly scored for your participation, these should be the starting points for you for seeding your intellectual fertile mind to come up with ideas, thoughts, tiny projects, related projects. Or even questions, right? Even though you know the answer, it may be worthwhile asking a question in the forum, because it's a very good question to ask. But think about it, you know, asking the good question is actually the hardest part. You know, everybody can come up with answers. That's why being a professor is really easy, because except during test time, you know, we just have to give answers. And giving an answer is really easy. Coming up with questions is hard, because you really have to understand the problem at a very deep level to know are all the corner cases covered. I'm still not convinced that what you described is going to work, because you know what happens if the water pressure changes by 10 Pascal at this point. I don't know. You know, I'm just coming up with a hypothetical situation here. Okay, and is the whole thing going to explode just because of that small thing? Question that, you know, any seasoned scientist or engineer will ask. Yes. Okay, same thing you're going to ask with a program too. Okay, so when someone says this is how you solve this problem, and you're going to say, well, you're going to think about it and say, oh, I don't know, if I give it a vector of null pointers, it's probably going to crash. Okay, so that's the kind of question, and those are kinds of mental routines, right? Or, you know, check boxes that you develop yourself, I think, as you do the quests, because in the quests, you'll actually have to develop all of those kinds of testing techniques in the quests to make sure that you pass all of the quests. Okay, and finally, the 2B people have got to complete all of the blue quests by day after tomorrow. You know, and it's probably going to be, if you're new to CS2A kind of stuff, unless if you're really solid on CS2A material, like, you know, basically if you know how structures work, classes, and then pointers. Okay, if you know how it works, you can actually get through all of the blue quests in 2 days, guaranteed. Okay, in fact, if you ask some of the top students from the previous quarters, they'll say I can get through it in half a day. Okay, there's only 9 quests, and they're very simple quests. So 2B students have to get through it, even if it means just staying up all night, maybe. It will actually help, because when you start 2B, you won't actually have any time, especially in the summer quarter. You won't have any time to basically stop and pause and saying, oh, you know what, I'm going to take a little break in here and go and work on my English essay and then come back. Okay, then you pretty much, when you come back, you'll see that everybody else has moved up that you know, and it'll be disillusioning and saying, well, you know, discouraging to many people, saying, well, you know, do I have to catch up first before, right? Don't let yourself into those situations at all. Just keep on top of it all the time. Reduce all of your other work, because this is actually going to be important. Okay, what you learn here is going to be like super duper important at the end. You know, like I said, the certificate you earn out of any of these classes is going to be totally worthless. Okay, but the knowledge you learn out of all of these classes, I think it is going to be priceless, because, you know, it is not just C++ programming, but it is basically a programmatic and a systematic way of thinking about and solving problems, okay, in a bulletproof way, right? And in practice in the environment of computers using a language called C++. That's what we're doing. Okay, so technically we could do the same thing in Java and C, in JavaScript, in Python. You know, in fact, there is a questing trail that I started to develop on Java, but I think I gave up after the, you know, first equivalent of 2A, because it's all the same after that, which is just the language is different. So that is what you're getting to. So if you are, and by the way, I think I'm offering, someone asked a question in the Reddit, I'm offering CS2C. I'm actually not offering CS2C in fall. I'm offering CS2C in the winter. Okay, so that is the only other time. That's the only that is my only offering of CS2C, I think, before I retire. So if you want to do my CS, well, actually, I think, you know, the questing will probably still be there. Maybe I'll give it to someone to keep running. But if you want to do the questing and the red quests and also get a CS2C check mark and also go through that whole experience and become a red dog, if you want to do my CS2C, then winter, you should aim for winter, which means you've got to be done with CS2B by fall. You know, summer is okay, but if you're doing CS2A now, you got to plan to do CS2B, my 2B if you want. Okay, in the fall quarter, I am offering CS2B in the fall.
Sorry to interrupt you. To be honest with you, you're just like going way too fast, and you speak with such intensity that it's stressing me out. You gotta slow down. You gotta have more structure to what you're saying, and have some sort of think before you start saying things, because
okay, no worries. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. Is there any particular point that you would like me to clarify better? I'll go over that.
No, just to change your way of communication, I think it'll be a lot better. You're way too much intensity, and there's too fast.
Okay, all right. Anyway, but that's all I had to say, essentially. Okay, that is all I had to say. I'm actually going to leave it in your hands. You guys are going to be talking amongst yourself, and if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask. Okay, like Umay said, if you missed something that we were talking about before and you're not sure of how it works, feel free to ask. I'll be able to answer those questions in as much detail as it takes. Until you guys understand that, I'll be happy to do that. Otherwise, I'm very happy to leave this in your hands, okay, and take off. I think I might have to assign a host or something. But other than that, I don't have anything special to say, okay? I just want to wish you all the best of luck. And go ahead and have a lot of fun with the questions, and all the material too. By the way, there are modular materials available in the CS Club and all. Caitlin actually shared a link at some point. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's also similar things for CS2B and 2C. All of these resources will be available. One of your classmates or Caitlin will be able to share it, and you can peruse all of those things. Any questions for me? Otherwise, best of luck. And obviously, if you want me to attend any of these catch-up meetings, I'll schedule one for every week around the same time.
Professor?
And if you want me to attend one, I'll be happy to.
Professor?
Yeah.
There was a question in the chat. They asked.
Oh, yeah. Feel free to just speak up and ask your questions, guys, okay? No, there are no mandatory meetings, by the way. Is that you? Is that the question you were referring to, Caitlin?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it was.
All right. Oh, there's a whole bunch of questions here. All right. Anyway, there seems to be a whole bunch of questions and some discussion. I don't actually see the chat. It's I have to maximize the real estate on my screen, so I keep the chat window minimized. Are there any other questions for me?
I have a question about the participation.
Sure. Okay.
So is that mostly catered towards like the Reddit and the
Yes.
the page?
Yes. That is why this is actually a heavy duty intense course. Okay. The intensity is going to be there all along. And that means that you have to be on top of the material, talking about the material, raising questions about it, or helping other people who are stuck. That has to happen almost every day, so that at the end of the week, you practically have a reflection ready to post. Although reflections are not mandatory, I decided this quarter we'll actually experiment with, instead of a reflection that is just coming at the end of the week, by as though, I got to do a reflection, let me do some. That is totally defeating the whole purpose. I said we're going to do a class in which, instead of a end of week reflection, we're going to be graded on basically that separated out over the whole week. Basically, it's got to be almost every day. I have the bandwidth to check these things, so
Okay.
yeah, don't worry. Hey, Sanatan, you have a question, and also Dana.
Yeah, my question is actually just a quick question about C++ syntax or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would be the best way to add an element to a vector at a particular index that may or may not have been allocated yet? Like, what's the best way to allocate it and then put it in?
What do you mean, inside of a vector, in the middle of a vector?
No, beyond the end.
Oh, beyond the end, then it's not at a particular location. You're just saying what's the best way to add an element to the end of the vector?
No, not to the end. Like, let's say you have a vector of length 5, and then now you want to add something at index 12, for example. Like,
oh, I see. Beyond the end of the vector. Okay, you have to resize it, obviously, yeah. And all those in between things will just be uninitialized.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I shouldn't be answering these things. I'm pretty sure there are other people in this class who actually know the answer. So for questions like this, what I will do is, rather than giving out the answer, even on Reddit, I'll basically wait for you guys to take a chance at, even if it's the wrong answer. I've mentioned this in class in my CS2A and all. It doesn't matter. The important thing is to just get it out there. And so, yeah, you ask questions, and then I'm just going to wait for other people to answer. Unless it's class related and I can answer and nobody else knows the answer. Okay. Yeah. Hey, Dana, you have a question too? You should switch on your camera, okay? All of you guys.
Earlier I was kicked out of the Zoom because turning on the camera shut down the computer. So is it okay if I stay off?
Yeah, okay, no worries. What I usually tend to in my Zoom classes, the thing is, if people have cameras off, then I just say you have to keep talking all the time, and so that because that makes promotes a sense of engagement for all students. That's fine. Dana, go ahead, ask your question.
So my quick question is, in the syllabus, it says that for the syllabus quiz, you must get 90% or higher.
No,
but the
no,
actual quiz says 80 or higher?
Don't worry about it, okay? If you did a decent job in the syllabus quiz, that's okay. It's just that it is, I think, a way of encouraging students to actually read the syllabus, because I had in the past lots of students who would just get into class without any idea of what it involves, saying, hey, it's something called CS2A, it's 5 units. But you do have to read the syllabus and respond, and hopefully better than 50%. Does it answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Anything else? Anybody else?
Hi. I also have a question about the participation. So in the syllabus, it says that we need to participate every day. Does every day include the weekends, or is it just weekdays?
No, it's just weekdays. And again, you have to exercise judgment. You don't have to do it every single day, okay? But when you do participate, it should be on average, at least every other day. And the quality of the post should be, reasonable. If you just say thank you or I have a question, that doesn't really count as participation, right? But if you say, "Why this is the problem, and this is what I tried to do to solve it, and it's not working. Someone help me," and someone does actually help you, and you say thank you, that actually contributes. That interaction. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. So the goal, since everybody is here, the goal here is to basically just turn this into a communal classroom or a community education system, essentially, where you are teaching each other, and my role is to basically just oversee it and make sure that the right things are happening, and the energy is positive in general. Okay, that's basically what I'll try and do. And obviously, if everybody's stuck, I will step in and help. But hopefully, in the past, I've not had to do that a lot. Is that okay? If there are no other questions for me, I'll just take off. Okay.
I have one more question.
Yeah, sure. Matthew, go ahead.
Hi. This summer I'm working a full-time internship, and I'm doing CS2B. I'm afraid that I don't have that much time, like these 2 days, to get the 9 quests done by Wednesday. And I was planning on spending like most of my time on July 4th to kind of complete these quests. Do you think it's possible if I complete them by like Thursday or Friday, or the Wednesday's hard deadline?
No, you probably have to drop the class and take it again in the fall or something like that. Not doing a heavy, not just a heavy duty internship, especially your first internship, you have to give it your all. Yes. You can't be doing some other, some demanding stuff shouldn't take your time. Yeah. So you have to impress that person or and also it's not just the internship, guys. Okay, the people who do all right, summer I'm going to clear off pre-calculus, BC calculus, and there's 5 other courses, all these heavy duty courses. That is also highly not recommended. We have students that have done that.
Okay, thank you.
No, I mean done that meaning done that unsuccessfully. They get burned out and they drop out of at least 2 or 3 of those classes. Anything else? Okay. Oh, Ronak, you raised your hand. Hey, if you raise your, you actually just have to speak up. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I was just wondering how often these meetings would take place.
I'm gonna schedule them once a week, but if you want to have these meetings more often than that, you just have to let me know, and I will schedule more of these meetings. Yeah. And every Monday, 6 p.m. Is that okay with you guys? Yeah, at the same time. And by the way, really everybody should switch on your cameras. Okay. It is you should treat it as basic courtesy for all of your classmates who do actually have their cameras on, unless you have a reason, a strong reason, like Dana saying, hey, I switched it on, my computer crashed, okay? That's okay. So otherwise you should all, even when I'm not here, but next week I'm not going to be here, yeah? It's just going to be you guys. So you should still switch on your cameras, and you'll see in your Zoom screen, right? It's much better if people have their cameras on. Otherwise, it's just a series of gray squares, and you're not even inclined to participate and say, well, you know what the hell, is just a class, right? And so you have to show people that you are people and not just bots on the other side. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. I think I have to assign the host thing to someone else. Leave meeting. Yeah. Hey, Caitlin, are you going to stick around? Well, if you have to go, you can always, nominate someone else and go. Can I make you the host? And, and when Caitlin has to go, she'll nominate someone else, and you can just keep it, whittling it down like that until the last person, right? Who can basically end the meeting. Is that okay with you guys? I'll just hand it over to Caitlin if Caitlin's okay.
I'm okay with that.
Great. All right. Best of luck. And like this, 2A and 2B get together at the same time and take turns and wait and help each other. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
See you guys. I'll see you later.
So Genius Boot Camp. So basically, it's all laid out in the syllabus. The blue quests are basically the first ones the first 9 you do it from after the first password, a tiger named Fangs, and after that you keep moving forward.
Yes, you drop a file.
Wait, for anyone who's in 2B right now, so for the I'm on the second one right now. And do you have to submit all 3 files at once, like the limerick,
Yes.
draw cat? Oh, okay, I see. Because I was submitting one by one and it wasn't working.
For Cindy's question, I think that what Professor encourages is you first think over the problem, and if like you really can't get it, then you post on the Reddit. So the steps would be think first, like you think it through, and then post on Reddit. And then if Reddit doesn't help much, then you approach the professor. You find the quests at the link. Yes, that's the link. 2A would be 9 quests. So I believe each course is 9 quests total. I'm not sure if the comments are saved. Don't know if anyone has a better answer. Okay, thank you. For the material, I would recommend the online textbook we sort of have. I think there's a post on that if you dig a little deeper in the Reddit. And then this is a very, for me, it was a very like self-learning course. So I just tended, like, I really just went on YouTube and Google and try to find a lot of materials for myself. Oh, is your name Lisa? Do you mind if I put your comment to public? So if anyone has any other answers.
Wait, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So when you want to submit your request, is there any like field where you have to sign in? Because when I go to the Quest website, it just straightforward tells me that I need to drop my file, but it doesn't ask me for like a login or student ID or something like that.
So you mean like after you've typed in the password and then they've got to the point where they're asking, can you drop your file down?
Oh yeah, I just don't remember the moment when it asked me like to enter the password. It
Well,
just asked me to enter the Quest name.
In order to access the website, you had to sign up with the email.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I did it at the beginning, and it asked me like it asked me an apartment. It asks, "Am I a genius or no?" And there I enter the email, but it just asks me every time, and I just go to that link.
That website is. I don't know if it leads you anywhere. There, have you accessed the other website, the one where you actually enter in passwords?
Yeah, but I think it just only asked me once to enter the secret handle.
Yes, and then you enter it in, and then you get the details for your first quest or assignment.
Okay, so you only need the name of the quest, and then you just drop the file.
Yes, and on the top of your file, you should have your student ID. That's how it keeps track of it.
Okay.
Yes.
Wait, for anyone who's in 2B again, so after you finish the 9 quests, does it give you a password to move on to green, or like how does it work?
It's actually 27 quests in total, so but he just divides 9 quests per course. So as long as you pass each quest, you just keep on getting the password for the next and next until you reach the last.
But so I need to finish the 9 though by Wednesday, or else I'm dropped.
Oh,
So
you mean like quest 9, the quest 9 for CS2A?
yeah, because it says like I gotta do that, even though I'm in B.
Yeah. It's basically the same as others. Once you're done, I think there'll be a little sentence saying that you've finished quest 9, so now you're like officially 2B, but they also just like give you a password and you can just move on to the next.
I bet.
For David's question, I think it really depends. I think I did it in the winter section, so for me it was just 1 per week.
Wait, sorry, I have a question. So I cannot find the class in my Canvas. I log in and I see other classes, but I don't see this class. Also, it might be a little noisy in the background because I'm not home right now. But so how do I like get that class to show up? Pretty much.
Have you checked like your Foothill page, like to see if you registered?
It's on there, yeah.
It's on there? I'm not sure. I'm not very well versed in Canvas, so if anyone has a better answer.
Actually, last week when he sent the email out saying that he opened the class, I couldn't find it either. So I had to email him and then he responded. And then after, I guess he did something, so then it showed up on my canvas. So I just had to email him. So maybe you should try doing that too.
Okay, wait, and this is all due by what, Wednesday? This Wednesday?
The first 9 quests are due by Wednesday. Yes.
Okay, okay.
David, David, are you doing 2A or 2B? I'm assuming 2B. 2A? Finishing all 2A quests in 2A. I've never done that. I think it might be possible if you were like already really knowledgeable and in C++ and just like could do all of them really fast, but I don't have any experience in that, so I can't tell.
I have a quick question. I noticed the professor has a YouTube channel that he puts classes on. This is going to be on there too, right?
Actually, I'm not sure. I know he put all the previous lectures, but I think he put them on there because we had like live coding sessions and then it was more of like a lecture for each, but this time it's more like sessions and he's not really here, so I don't know if there's much point in putting it on.
Okay.
You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. What IDE do you recommend using?
IDE.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Could you like
VS Code?
Oh, sorry. Yes, Nathan's correct. And it's 9 quests due in total for summer. So 9 quests in 1 month. You can basically leave if you have no questions or anything.
Yeah, so I just wanted to know that in C++, what's the best way to assign elements way after the end of a vector without experiencing a segmentation fault? Like, what's the preferred way to reallocate memory? Like, does anyone know that? By the way, this is a question I asked earlier. Oh, well. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I have another question. The syllabus has us making an introductory post in the subreddit under Genius Flare, and the link goes to CS2C on the Reddit. Is that where we're supposed to post it, or are we supposed to do it in CS2A?
That's optional, and if you want to do it, then yes, you do it in CS2C. The flare would basically be like the tag. It's an option when you make the post. David, I think if you're in CS2A, you don't need to do any 9 quests. It's
Okay.
CS2B.
And all the discussions for CS2A people will stay in CS2A.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
I had a question about the files. Does he care what we name the file names?
Yes, he cares very much, and you actually like the auto grader doesn't give you the total amount of points if you don't name it correctly. So on the assignment, well, each time you read like your assignments, he will write what your file name is supposed to be, and you have to follow that like letter by letter.
Wait, is that the end?
The end?
Oh yeah, it is at the end. Okay, sorry. Thank you.
Does anyone know how to open a new file in VS Code? I think you just file and then new file. You mean like how to open a new C++ file? Basically I think for me, I go to VS Code, file, new file, and then you just type the name of your file and then .cpp. And then I think that will just create one. I don't think comments matter. CPP.
Sorry. So again, about a student ID thing, do you put it in a name of the file or you put it as a comment in the file?
Student ID will always be the first line of your file, and it will be a comment with student ID and then your student ID. That's how the grader will read it.
So you just put it on the first line as a comment?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone have any other questions? We're good? Oh. Why did it show me the funds?
It's I think it says at the end of it says submission at the end of the file.
Yeah.
I think it's usually in there. I also have a question. Is the grade that he gives the same as like the auto grader? Is it like if you pass then you're good?
This is like kind of weird. So he has a whole structure for like grades and stuff. The auto grader gives you trophies, and based on the amount of trophies you end with, that determines your a big part of your final grade. So like the highest amount for 2A would be 191. If you get 191, then you get like a 100% for that portion of your grade. Did that make sense?
Oh, I get it. Thank you.
The trophies are given based on how to explain. They're based on how correct your code is. Like if you hit the requirements he wants, your code functions as he wants. So the trophies are given based on how well your code matches with the expected code.
Does it kind of tell you or kind of lead you towards the right answer for those trophies, or is it like as long as you follow the instructions, you'll kind of get the idea?
This is what I mean, like kind of like self-learning, because the first few quests, it's kind of clear. They go like, this is where you're not matching, and then they like sometimes have signs like, oh, this is the sentence where your code doesn't match. But then later on, all you'll really get is just like you have 14 trophies, and then you have to actually check and see, oh, I'm missing one, and then you have to kind of figure it out for yourself. So that's it gets kind of harder near the end because of that. The place where you can see your trophy count, yes. This one. And then your secret handle is your student ID. Janie, for your question, I think it depends. I know for the first two quests, I believe that he was like really strict, so it had to match word for word, space for space. I'm not sure later on because we've never really I've never really gotten to see what the exact code he wants. So I just kind of do my way, and then like I eventually get all the trophies. So I would assume that as long as the code works, I'm not sure about different functions because as you see in the assignment, he'll actually like give you the name of the function he wants, and you just it's kind of like fill in the blank. Because he will give you like a template, and then you just fill it in. Yes, you create your code in a VS Code file, and then you basically, I think you can drag it, and then you just submit it to where it says, put your files here. Yeah, drop your files here. Max. I'm pretty sure VS Code. Yeah. Yes, they are all in the Inquistopedia. Any more questions? If not, then I'll just close the meeting. If that's okay with everyone.
Yeah, okay, sure. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, good night.
Thank you.